Hey there, everybody. It is Victoria Randall. I am the founder of the CNA Instructor's Secret Cocktail, and I am here today. I have a wonderful interview for you. I am so excited. We will be interviewing Miss Georgia Dixon of Life Healthcare Academy out of Texas, and she's going to talk a little bit about what it looked like starting a nurse aid training program for her in Texas. As you know, I love to bring you guys valuable information to help you start your own nurse aid training program. So I'm super excited to have this interview. Please get your questions. Ask them anytime that you want throughout the interview. Hey there, Georgia.
Hi, it's so much more better with my earphones.
Perfect. So thank you so much for joining. Be sure to share this live with your page so that other people can view.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you. So I'm so glad we got this working properly this time. Let's go ahead and just jump into the interview, okay?
Yes.
All right. So tell us a little bit, Georgia, about your background as a nurse before you got into starting your nurse aid training program.
Awesome. So I've been a nurse for 11 years. I started when I was 24 years old. And during nursing school, I started in New York. That's where I'm coming from. We had to become aides while we had the opportunity to become an aides on our journey to our RN license. So I did patient care technician, and it's like a CNA in New York. And I did that for a full 2 years while I was in nursing school. And we call it internships. I wasn't paid for it. It was okay because, I was still living at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. And it was the foundation for where I fell in love with taking care of my patients, giving them baths, washing their hair, feeding them. So I had that for a full 2 years. And I fell in love with nursing bedside at that point.
Okay, awesome. So we have Ro, who's here from New Burlington County, New Jersey. Thanks for tuning in. So tell us, so the name of your school is Life Healthcare Academy, and it is out of what part of Texas?
So it's in Central Texas, Killeen, Texas, close to Fort Hood. We're about 40 minutes from Austin, Texas. Yes.
All right. And when did you start your program?
So I started my program back in October 2018, officially, like grand opening. And it took me a full 9 months to get credentialing and get everything on board. And I started in October, at my first class in November. And then, so I've been having every 5 weeks. I do with a week in between, and I started like that. So it's going on 6 months.
Great. And I like that you put a week between classes.
Yes.
Yeah. To afford you the opportunity to prepare, get graduation, and we'll talk about that, but I'm glad that you do that.
Yes.
Was that in your plans initially, or did that just happen as things progressed? You recognized that was something you needed to do?
It happened as I progressed. So initially I was like, oh no, it's every 5 weeks, perfect. But no, I was like, I need a break. I need a break to recoup. It's graduation. I just need a breather to regroup, get everybody that signed up and ask them, hey, are you wanting to, so it helped me with add time too. So that week is definitely needed.
Got you.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to start a nurse aid training program.
So what inspired me is the lack of CNAs and competent caring CNAs in our nursing homes and in our hospital or even in the home. I wanted to bridge that gap. I hated to see that we're always short. And because the shortage, it take a toll on the entire staffing. If there's no one to care for our patients, then nurses, they can't even work effectively. The CNAs are the ears and the eyes of the nursing home and even the hospital. So not having them on staff, it was really hurting us, the nursing staff. So I wanted to get that going and get more in the community. And if I can train them, hey, I love it.
Yes, awesome. So, okay, we have Ms. Davis here, Ms. Dawkins, and then Chandra says she is in Hillsboro, Texas, not far from Georgia.
Oh,
okay, thank
awesome.
you guys for joining. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's just get into it because we want to talk about what some of the issues are that is keeping and holding people back from starting their own nurse aid training programs. So my goal with you, Georgia, I've told my story a million times. I know they're tired of it. So I want to share someone else's story so that maybe they can get inspired or hear a different perspective, right?
Definitely.
So tell me, what was your biggest fear in starting your own nurse aid training program initially? What were you fearful of?
Okay, initially I was fearful of, oh my God, can I do this? I've never ventured into this area of just by myself. Another fear was the tedious, but doable application process.
Yes.
That is very intimidating. But then again, I had to pull from my strength and says, you've been a nurse and you've been a patient care technician. You can do this. There's nothing you cannot do. So I had to speak to my spirit, and yep.
Got you. No, that's a huge fear for a lot of people, and letting go of their 9 to 5 to do it. So how did you deal with that? How did you transition?
So I haven't transitioned. I am still doing my 9 to 5. Now, what helped me was I had to hire an assistant. So you have to.
Yes, this is so true. You have to have. You cannot do it all on your own.
No, and although I have a business plan, I developed a business plan, and I had money to pay stuff, and I kept my overhead costs low. My school is only 1,000 square foot, guys, and I was just telling somebody who wanted to open a salon. I said, don't open a boom, boom, boom. No, open a little thing. Just decorate it really nice. So that's what I did. But I still have my job. I love my career as a nurse practitioner. But I was able to hire an assistant, and she's there 9 to 5. So she gets the traffic, people inquiring, coming in, and I come in the evening and I teach my night classes.
Awesome. So right now you are focusing on night classes. Do you get very many inquiries regarding a day class?
No. Since I've opened, I've had 4 people just ask, hey, do you have a day class? And I'm writing those down because that's where I want to expand next. Because, I'm just growing. I'm only 6 months old and I want a day class. It's on my vision board. But I only have 4 people. So it tells me a lot that a lot of people have their career still or their little job, and they want to go to night school. They want that flexibility and then convenience. Yeah.
Got it. So we have Dakota from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Hi, Nicola. Yes.
And then we have Sheila here. Hey, guys, thanks for joining. So I think you raise a very valid point, and I even noticed it depends on your community, your target audience, right, what they need, and you have to provide that to them. And I definitely noticed that maybe during the summertime, I had more people wanting day classes and weekend classes, but then during the school year, they wanted evenings. And so you raise a very, very valid point. It's very important to kind of look at what it is that they need and be having your ears open to finding out what you may need to be more flexible on. So yeah, I like that. Okay. So when you initially went into business, did you do it all alone or did you have a partner?
Oh, I did it all alone. I am so proprietary. Now, I do have great support system behind me. My husband is extremely hands-on. He's my maintenance guy. He's my bill paying. So getting your support team on board is awesome. Do that. But I'm by myself.
Okay. I love that you have a support team. Yes, it is needed. I tell people all the time, one of my biggest mistakes was trying to do it all by myself.
Oh my gosh.
You cannot.
No. And at first I was like, oh, I don't need to hire anybody yet. But no, I quickly realized I need an assistant at least. So she is everything and I love her. I'm blessed to have her. Yes.
Yeah. Shouts out to her, right?
Yes. Miranda, thank you.
Yeah, I quickly learned too that I needed someone there. People will constantly be calling your business, coming in and out of the business. They walk by, they see it, they want to know more. And if your door is not open for them, you have lost that potential student for sure. Yes. So I'm glad that I tell everybody that too. Please have an assistant. Would you agree? A receptionist, assistant, whatever you want to call them, have them there.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question if I had inquiries from Waco. No, I don't have any inquiries from Waco. Waco is it's not as big as Austin, but it's a smaller town as you get closer to Dallas. And I haven't had any.
Okay. All right. So we talked about what your biggest fear was now, and let's talk about that application because you did bring that up, right?
Ooh,
so the application can be very daunting. I know in the state of Texas, there's 2 different applications, right? There's one to the Department of Health, and then there's one to the Texas Workforce Commission.
Yes.
And the Texas Workforce Commission can be very daunting. It's like 75, 100 pages maybe. I lost count, but it's a lot. So tell me about what part was most interesting or what part was easiest, what part was hard. Let's talk about that.
So I felt like I was doing a project. Just keep it like that. Have in your mind, I am doing this project. Because that's how it felt like to me. I had to do each step. I had to do my curriculum. Then you have to do just make it as a project. You're doing a project for school. That's how I treated it. The biggest problem was getting a CPA, getting an accountant to do my financials. And the period that I wanted to start my school, it was tax season. That's why it took me full 9 months to start my school, is because it was tax season and everybody was telling me, oh, you got to be on the back burner because it's tax season now. So guys, be careful when you start applying, and you may get some delay with accountants because you're not on their priority. So as soon as tax season was done, I think it was May 1st, I was like, okay, tax season is done. Can you get me my financials? I need this. I need this. And I kept pounding on them and kept pounding and asking them to help me. And luckily one says, okay, tax season is done. Let me do it for you. But that was the biggest part. And it's the most expensive apart from the application. Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about that. We have Shanta said New York and New Jersey too, by the way. They are very long and a little complicated. Rose said they're in New Jersey, and you've been calling the state all week. You're better off emailing, Ro, just FYI. And if you want, at the end of this, you can contact me, inbox me, because I have the contact person for New Jersey, okay? Hey, good morning, Miss Greeno Edwards. Thanks for joining. So let's talk about the CPA. So people want to know, like, when it comes to financials, what do they want to know about my financials? What is it exactly they're looking for, and what is it exactly I need to provide, and what is it that I need this CPA for?
Yes. So the biggest thing they want to know is, if a student drops out of school, are you able to pay for the building? You know, because even though it's your passion and everything, but the door's got to be open. So if tuition fails, are you able to pay for your rent? Are you able to pay for your light and your water? So they want to see that your income and your assets and liabilities it matches up, or you're not like in the hole, or you're in high debt and you're trying to open a school. They're making sure that you are financially stable. So thank God I am. So I was able to, show that, hey, I have a salary. This is what I make. I will be able to afford it if a student drops out 1 or 2. So that's what they're looking at. So your accountant is going to do your asset and liability. They're going to look at everything, your bank account, your pay stubs. And so don't quit your job yet. Do not, tip number 1, do not quit your job. Because you may not, my first class was just only 1 student.
Yes.
So do not quit your job. Stay with it. But that's what they're looking at. They're looking to see if you're able to pay for, the school if a student drops out.
Yes. Another thing I know that they're looking for is, in the event that that you do happen to have to close, right? And you do, where are your students going to go? What are your students going to do? Are you going to give them their money back? Do you have a surety bond, right?
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
So having a teach out plan and things like that is definitely important too. So yeah, that is helpful, because everyone wants to know that. And for those people who are in my business plan course, so I do have a business plan course that helps you prepare for your nurse aid training program. And there is a liability and assets portion to help give you an idea of what that looks like. Now, to your point, in Texas, you still have to actually have a CPA completed for you. Okay.
Yes.
So not all states, but Texas is one that you do have to have an actual CPA. But if, in case you're ever wondering, what does that look like? It's in the business plan course that I offer online. But also, there is no specific number. So a lot of people want to know, is there a specific number? What's the number? There is not one, correct?
No, there is not one. No.
Yeah.
So, no, there's not one. I would just say stay in your job, because they want to look to see your salary will speak volume.
Yes. So Sandra says her biggest fear is getting a facility to actually take her clients or take her students. And that is a big problem a lot of people worry about. Am I going to find a facility to take my students to for clinical rotations? And how do I cultivate that relationship so that I can get them to do that? So can you talk to us, Georgia, about how that went for you?
Sure. So unfortunately, in my area, there was a few nursing homes that had like dings against the city. The city had like tickets against them for not doing different stuff that they were supposed to be doing. So that was a challenge for me too. But sometimes I'll call a state and say, hey, I'm trying to go into so-and-so nursing home. Do they have any problems? Do I need to be aware of? Because I hate going in and signing in the state says, oh, by the way, they're not, capable of having students. So I'll call the state so I do not have that problem. So once I know that these 3 nursing homes were in good standing with the state, I put on my lipstick. I did not send I didn't call, I didn't email, because people love to see face. And my thing is, nobody can resist my smile and my charisma.
I love the confidence. Yes.
Yes, I took my confidence in there, and the fact that, this is what I do. And I tell them about my passion, and I want to bridge the gap with the shortage. Use the word shortage because it is true. And they're like, oh yes, more CNAs, we're short. And I said, that's what really helped me. So it's not somebody that I went to dinner with or anything. I just asked for the administrator. The state of Texas wants you to speak with not the ADN or the DON. They want you to go to the administrator of the nursing home. So you go in there and dress well and sell your school and tell them that you want to get this shortage fixed. They are going to want to work with you.
I love that. I tell people a lot of times, let me back up. First of all, you raise a very valid point. You have to make sure the nursing home is in good standing. There are some states you can look that information up online to see who's on the ban list, is what it's called.
Yes.
But then, like you said, sometimes you have to call. But it's very important, because if a nursing home has maybe multiple abuse or neglect issues, or they're not in good standing with Medicare or Medicaid, they cannot have CNAs at their school, period.
No.
So it is very important. And that's why I tell people, make sure you have more than one nursing home. Okay. Don't wait until you get 2, but please try to get 2, because if something happens to the nursing home that you're with, now you don't have any place for your students to go, and they can never graduate. Therefore, you can't have a school and you can't make money. So please have more than one school, right? I mean,
definitely
more than one nursing home.
Yes. Great tip.
Yeah. But what you were saying, I like about, how can it appeal to them, right? And there's a nursing shortage. I'm bridging the gap for that shortage, and potentially my students can then become your employees, right? Yes.
And actually, on the first day of clinicals, they're already hired. The nursing students say, I need. So they're already marketable. They're very marketable, these students, just because they're very hardworking. So there's no problem with that. Have no fear with getting nursing homes to come on board.
Yeah, I agree. You just got to get out there, get a list of nursing homes in your area, and go to them and check them off the list.
Check them off the list.
That's exactly what I did too. And some you got to go 3 and 4 times, and that's okay.
Yes.
So Dakota says, and I'm sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, but does the CPA does the financial part of your business plan?
So yes. They will help you with that too. So I happened to hire them. I said, can you do my books and everything like that? So they'll help you. And my accountant was able to tell me how many students I need to break even, how many students I need to make a profit. And if I have this much students, I'm not making a profit. He went down everything with me.
Well, you had a really good accountant, because that sounds like that's going above and beyond. That's awesome.
Yes. He told me. So I have a number of students in my head. Okay, for me to break even, that's what I need. Just ask them. They'll calculate it up and they'll do it for you right there.
Great. I love it. But please keep note that it is important for you to know what the number is that you need for student tuition individually, right? So, how much is it going to cost you? And that's something I think we're going to talk about in a minute. I want to answer these questions, but tuition calculation, because everyone wants to know about that too. Okay, so Sheila says, when you call the state, are you calling the HHS? She wants to know who are you calling to find out about the ban list.
Oh, yes, HHS, yes. They're the ones because they're the ones that's going to say you're going to be doing your affiliation agreement with. So they're going to want to see it in the initial application. Actually, it's not even, it's an initial application. When you're sending that first application in, they're going to want to see your affiliation agreement with that nursing home. And they recommend that you do too. So it's for HHS.
Yeah, so many people say, well, how can I get this nursing home to want to partner with me when I don't even have a school open yet? Like, why would they do that? They know and they understand that. They know when you're in new school, you don't have a facility yet, and you're not right?
Yes, yes. I tell them, hi, I'm starting a new school in Central Texas and Killeen, Texas, and I would love to partner with you and have my students here to train to potentially become your employees one day and to help fill the shortage.
I love it. I love it. HHS is help the
Texas Health and Human Services.
Health and Human Services. There we go. I'm like,
Yes.
why is the second H leaving? Health and Human Services.
Services, yes.
But each state is different. So some state it may be the Department of Health, so DOH
Oh, okay.
instead, right? So it
Oh,
depends on
okay.
your state. So please keep that part in mind. But it's the health department per se.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So tell us about your startup process. When you started up, what did that look like? When did you decide to get equipment? How did you get it? Things like that.
Oh, wow. So for my startup, I used, of course, my money. I did my business plan. I see how much money I needed to do, but I was very frugal. I went on Craigslist. I went on Let Go is your best friend. Let go.
I like that.
Yes, my bed was somebody, it was her father, her hospital bed that she had in her room, but the father passed away. So
Yes.
she sold that bed for really cheap. So now I was able to have a hospital bed for my students to train on. I, of course, sanitize it, but guys, use Let Go and use my filing cabinet. It was a school that was getting rid of their supplies. And I went and bought them for like $25 for a full 2 filing tall cabinets. Yes.
Yep.
So use your community resources. Go on Facebook Marketplace and find equipment. You don't have to buy everything on cheap, the first, initial price. There are certain things you're going to need, like supplies, your gloves, those things I got on Amazon.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That's how I found a lot of my stuff. Maybe it was, we were taking care of mom at home. She's now deceased.
Yes.
We don't know what to do with this stuff. They're out there. They're not going to fall on your lap. You do have to look for them.
No,
but
you have
they're
to.
out there.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you find the transition from nurse to CNA instructor very easy? Did you find that there was a little bit of a learning curve there? Tell me a little bit about what that looked like in your personal experience.
I would say I was comfortable with it, but I had to know that everybody learns at a different pace, at a different time, with different techniques. So I'll have students that will learn from me talking with them, but some had to do questions and to get repetitive learning. So learning everybody teaching technique, how they learn, it was the biggest challenge for me, but I'm loving it because I'm learning from them. I ask them, how do you learn? How can I make what I'm saying to you more understandable? And they'll tell me. So, but the transition, I was confident. I'm always confident. You would not know that I'm nervous like now. I'm kidding. But I'm always, confidence goes a long way. So I was confident that and the material, you studied it, you've done this, you breathe, live and eat it every day of your nursing career. So to teach this, it's second to nature. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. When I teach people how to write their curriculums. I know in the state of Texas, they provide you with the curriculum.
Yes.
However, even though they provide you with the curriculum, they do not tell you how to deliver the content, correct?
No.
Yes. That part is missing. The other part that is missing from the Texas curriculum is also how to evaluate them, right? That part is missing. And then the third part that is missing is where at in the book, depending on which book you choose, that you can find that information, right?
Yes.
So I teach classes. I have a seminar and I teach an online class where I help deliver that. And I love what you just said, finding the different ways each person learns.
Yes.
And you can literally stand in front of the classroom and you're in the middle of lecturing and you will look out into that classroom and you will see two faces that have this, I don't know what the hell she's talking about look, right?
Yes.
And you have to acknowledge that. And you have to say, okay, I can see student A and student B is not getting this. How can I help them get it?
Yes.
If I'm lecturing, maybe they are not a cognitive learner. Maybe I need to get them involved. Maybe they're kinesthetic. So when we get in the lab, I'm going to be on them, right?
Yes.
Or maybe they need some type of affective technique. So maybe I need them to feel and get understanding. So I'll call them up and do a role play with them or something. So there's different ways that you have to be very creative, to your point, in ensuring that you're delivering the content so that every student can get it.
Yes, you
And then you have to
definitely.
think, even though that student got that one time, they still need
Hmm.
it multiple times. Even though you taught it 4 different ways, student A only understood it one way.
One way.
And that was just that one time.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you still have to find multiple ways. So
You
I
have
love that you
to.
said that.
You have to. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. And some professors always think, oh, if I stand up and teach and I have this monotone, they're gonna get it. No, everybody gets learning differently. So I had to learn that, and so yeah,
Love that.
definitely, yes.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about tuition. How did you decide your tuition? How did you go about that?
Very good questions. So I called around and I asked what my other schools were paying, what were charging for their tuition. And because I am new, I wanted people to come to my school. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a technique I did. So I charged $150 less, and most schools like $500 less, so that people will come to my school and I'll get feedback from it and say, oh, girl, I'm glad I came to your school because that school is charging an arm and a leg.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my technique. I went under what my
Got you. Got you. Okay.
others. Hmm.
So I tell
Yes.
people too, always, of course, make sure that, like you said, you're scoping the competition, at least 3
Yes.
competitors, find out what it is that they're charging. And when I say competitors, I mean people closest to you, right?
Yes. Yes.
Find out what they're charging and then figure out not only what they're charging, but what is included in that tuition, because that's important too. They
That
may think
is.
that their tuition is very cheap, but then they're nickeling and diming them for other items, right?
Yes.
So how can I leverage that? So as I shared with you earlier when we talked for me, a lot of people were very cheap. And I was like, how in the world are they getting away with charging like $500 and $600 for this nurse aid training program? Like, how are they
Yeah, that's
making money,
hard.
right? Because that's what my competitors were charging. And I knew I needed to charge more because I looked at, what does it mean to get a book and stethoscope and blood pressure cuff, because I believe every student needs a blood pressure cuff and stethoscope. I believe that because I feel
Hmm.
like I'm teaching you in class, but when you go home, how are you learning? So I really felt like every student needed one because that is one particular skill that I know in my state people were failing. And
Yes.
so how can I ensure that they get it outside of the classroom, right? Just all those things. And I decided I'm doing all-inclusive tuition,
Yes.
and my tuition is going to be higher than everybody else's because of it. But now I don't make them feel like they're getting nickel and dimed, right? So
Yes.
I really looked at how much is it going to cost me for each item I'm including in tuition? How can I bundle that into a package? And how can I sell it even though it's higher than everyone else?
Yes.
So, but yeah, to
That's
your
smart.
point, whatever it is, look to your competition to see that's your tuition price, but what includes that and how can I leverage myself against it, you guys? I would definitely recommend.
Definitely, yes. I included a couple of stuff in my tuition, but I love your tip. That's awesome.
Jessica says, how do students normally pay for their tuition? Do they normally pay out of pocket or is there financial aid that's available? I love that question, Jessica. That's segueing into the next one because Georgia and I talked about different ways she was going about trying to help her students with grants. So can you talk a little
Yes.
bit about that, Georgia?
Sure. So most of my students, they pay out of pocket, but then again, I was realizing that people were telling me, I want to start your school so bad, but I do not have the money. I don't even have the down payment to pay for it. So I had a lot of that. And I was like, I need to reach those students. How can I reach them? So I asked for help from the government. TWC offer a grant for low income students, but you have to apply for it.
Do
And
you
it's
know the
a
name of that grant, Georgia?
Texas Workforce Commission. I don't know per se. Low
Okay.
income
I tell you
scholarship. And
what, when
what?
you figure it out, come back to this live feed and type it in there because I know
Yes,
people
I
are going
will
to ask
type it
me.
in. Yes, but it is a grant where you apply for it and you give them your that same financial packet that you got from your CPA. You give it to them, and it's a entire application that you fill out. You could do it online, and then you have to send it in also. But the students will receive a voucher, and that voucher they'll bring to the school and able to say, hey, I want to take your school, here is my voucher to go to your school. And it takes a while I got approved for it, thank God, but now is the state to send me the certificate to get it. Yes.
Okay. Was there anything in particular you can think of that you really needed to point out that they were looking for that you may have had to dig to get approved for that?
So I had to dig for example, they wanted to know, are you going to provide jobs? So I had to find out exactly what were the hospitals that were hiring and will hire my students. And I went back to that nursing home and I said, hey, my students, will you hire them? Because Texas Workforce Commission, before they're going to pay a student to come to your school, they want to make sure that they're hireable. Like that career that you're saying that they want to come to your school for, will they get it for real? So I had to, find openings and send that in also. Say, hey, I found 50 jobs currently in my area. So please send students to me so I can train them so they could go work for that.
I like that. And, and to
Yes.
be honest, when you really, because sometimes every now and then in our business model, we always should step back and reevaluate it, right? And see,
Yes.
what am I doing? What's working, what's not, what do I need to change, right? And so
Yes.
there may be a point in time, and not just you, but anybody, when you're
Right.
in business, you're looking at, okay, this is a new connection I've made. I'm noticing that maybe my students are not happy with the fact that they have to go get a book on their own or whatever it is. That's especially they don't have car, they don't have, whatever, credit cards, whatever the problem is.
Correct.
So they can't, it's hard for them to access these resources. Maybe I need to bump my tuition up to this amount and to help them cover that, to make it easier for them, because that's what it looks like my business model is going. And then if I know that I'm getting a lot of funds, that I know for a fact the funds will cover this. So sometimes when you're in a position like you are now, Georgia, where you know for a fact that you're able to start getting this money coming in directly, it
Yes.
helps you to reevaluate, how can I ensure that now I'm getting things covered, right?
Yes, I'm still learning from you, Victoria.
So definitely always reevaluate. Okay,
Yes.
so Jessica had that, Sandra had that question as well. Okay, so the next question I wanted to ask you, and we're going to wrap up, so you guys, whatever questions you have, start asking them because we're going to wrap up here. But Georgia, what advice would you tell someone who is entering this field and wants to get started? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to ask for help. Recruit your supporting team. If that's your husband, your sister, a fellow nurse, your team, they want to help you. They're glad that you're starting this entrepreneurship venture. So they're going to want to help you. Ask for help and hire help. I feel like even an assistant, not paying her minimum wage, but pay her a good salary. You can afford that. So hire help, get help, and don't give up. It's a very tedious process, but it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
And, there are results to have Victoria along the step of the way. It does not have to take you 9 months like it did me. You can always get her help with that. So don't give up. A big thing that I had to do, and I'm still doing, is celebrate my small win. Small. I have schools that are my goals. Like, oh my God, I would love to have this size. But I'll tell you to don't give up and do Google ads. That's been helping me. Google ads and Facebook ads. And always ask, how did you hear about my school? And run to that. Because that's where that's going to be coming from. So, that will help. Another thing is be a walking billboard. Get t-shirts. Have your friends and your neighbors put the t-shirts on. So when they go to Hobby Lobby and Lowe's, somebody will say, oh, that's a nursing school. Let me write that down. I put my business that was on my t-shirt. It's on my car. One of my students currently right now, she was going to the doctor's office and minding her own business. This is exactly what she said. And she saw me in front of her. And she said, ooh, a CNA school. And she wrote it down, came straight, did not go to her dentist's office, came straight to my school and signed up. And she's currently in my class. So I paid $67 for a sticker on my car, and I'm able to get a student. So advertise, maximize advertisement, maximize it.
I love how you put the number to it, right? $67 for a magnet, and the return on investment was times,
yes,
I don't know, 15, right?
Yes.
800 for a student you're charging, right?
Yeah, $850. $850. So $67 to put it on the back of my car and $850.
I love that. I tell people all the time, that's the number 2 thing people are so fearful of, is investing in their business, investing in their marketing. Do not be afraid to invest in your marketing, guys. You're going to get a return on investment, I promise. Even if you only get one student off of that Google ad that was $350.
Yes.
It paid for itself. it's paid
Yes.
for itself. I can't tell you how many people I consult with, and they're really afraid
To
to dive
yes.
into marketing.
And to boost, you could pay $10 to boost your ad to about 500 people.
Hmm.
Isn't that good? $10 to boost to 500. So go ahead and boost. Do Facebook boost, Google ads, buy some t-shirt. It took me $12 to make t-shirts from my local printing company. Do that. Wrap your car. Put it at the back of the window. You don't have to put the entire car,
Yeah.
but wrap your car. Do something, and have your people wear their t-shirts too. So they'll go everywhere and say, "Hey, can you wear my t-shirt on Saturdays?" So that's a
Yep.
very good tip that I use.
Sheila says, do you have to be classified for a large school versus a small school for the grant?
That's a very good question. And it does ask you if you're a large school or a small school. I am
I
not
think you're
sure.
classified as small, correct?
I am very small. I'm only 1,000 square foot. I am
Yeah.
very small. And even when you're applying for the TWC application, there's a difference in price with small
Yes,
versus
there is.
large.
It's $1,001 for a small school, and it's $3,000 for a large in the state of Texas, and
Yes,
that is based upon how many students you plan on having for the year. Okay. And,
exactly.
and that also includes when you think about that, you also need to think about that in terms of your surety bond too, and your insurance, because it covers you based upon how many students you plan on having annually as well. I recommend
Exactly.
anyone starting to do a small initially, because you don't want to pay for all
Yes,
that and you may not get it. Okay.
exactly. And it keeps your overhead costs low. So, if you have a small space, your rent is going to be low, your light is going to be low, and your water and phone. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like going big initially is never a good idea.
No,
No.
I agree. All right. Jessica says, thank you so much. I'm in Texas, and this was such helpful information. I'm
Oh,
so glad,
thank you.
Jessica.
Don't give up,
Um,
Jessica. Don't give up. And there's no elevator to success. You got to take the stairs. And it means
I love
sleepless
it.
night. Yes, sleepless nights, long hours. Just get some support team. Get your family on board and for them to help you because they want to help you.
They do. They do. And they just don't
Yes.
know how.
They don't know how.
You have to
Yes.
guide them. Yes.
So sometimes you'll say, sometimes I call my girlfriends and I say, hey, how about we have girls' day out, but we're going to do flyers first. Is that okay? And they're like, yes.
I love that.
So I
Let's do lunch
incorporate my
before we
flyers
do
with my girl.
lunch.
Yes. Before we do lunch, can we do some flyers, girl? Of course. Yes.
I love that. Rose says, is there a maximum number of students that you can start your school with?
So because it's just me, I can only have 10 students in the clinical site. So I keep it at 10 for now because it's just me right now. It's on my vision board to expand day classes and to get bigger and have another instructor. I have two instructors. It's on my vision board. So you have to, for only one, you have to have 10 in the clinical side and about 16 in the classroom.
Yeah, and you will. You will. I have no doubt about
Yes.
that. You will. Hey, Jasmine. Jasmine's here. Jasmine says great information. Jasmine took one of my online courses on getting her nurse aid training program up and going and writing the
Great.
curriculum and things like that. And I think she's submitting soon, or she already has. So I'm super excited for Jasmine, and I can't wait to hear the response and
Yes.
her getting ready for her inspection and things like that. Um,
Awesome.
Daphne said, where are you at in Texas? I think she missed that part.
Oh, so I am in Killeen, Texas, right outside of Fort Hood, 40 minutes from Austin. So I'm right in the dead center of Texas.
And I do want to remind people that the number of students that you can have is based upon your state. So I'm not sure what state you're in, but just know that the number of students per instructor ratio is a state-based requirement. So for her, she said it's 10. For us in Georgia, it is 14.
Oh,
I've seen
great.
15. I think it was 15. I work with so many states, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it depends on the state, okay? Sheila says, does your school have space, individual offices, or is it for private student communications? Does your school space have individual offices? Oh, okay. Does your school have individual offices or for private student communications? Describe your office for us.
Oh, sure. So I wanted a lobby, definitely, where my people will wait. Then I wanted a front desk, and I made sure it was a glass where we could, that kind of setting up. Then as you step in is the office. I shared my office with my assistant. We didn't have to have two offices. So if you got a small school, you got to know how to work your spaces. Then I have my classroom, and then I have my lab, and then I have a break room and a bathroom. So
Awesome.
yes, but the lab is very important. You need a space for your lab. I did not want to outsource this to someone and having to go somewhere else for my students. I wanted them to be in right there in my school.
Yeah, definitely. And the lab, you know, to your point, it needs to have room. It needs to have the
Yes.
ability to provide privacy because when the
Yes.
students are taking the state exam, they need to be able to draw the curtain or close the door or whatever to provide privacy. So you have to make sure that you have that also in the lab, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do
Yes.
you have a curtain? Do you have a door? What do you have for privacy in
So
your
I
lab?
have a door, but in Texas we go to Purdue location to be tested.
Mhm.
Yes, so it'll be, and our testing center is in Waco and Lampasas. That's nearby cities. It's a center that we have to go to.
Okay. So I know we were talking, Georgia, and you said it took you about a good 9 to 10 months to get
Yes.
everything going in the entire process. What would you suggest to someone to expedite that process, or what would you say could have helped you if you would have known ahead of time? There we go.
Oh my God! If I had known you, if I there are resources out there, and I searched, but for some reason I think I didn't search long because I was all, in my head. I need to get this done, but you have everything set up. You have teaching how to do the curriculum, how to do your business plan, how to do everything. So I think, like, guys, please go out. A lot of people are reaching out to me, and I'm like, listen. This took me forever. Do not let that happen to you. Go to Victoria. Thank God that there are people like you in the world that will help us. So you don't have to do 10 months of learning stuff on your own. You can learn with her. So go ahead and use her. She is your pusher. So go ahead. If I had known you, it would not have taken me 10 months, but it took me a long, long 10 months.
Yeah, well, you did better than me, girl. It took me 2 years. So you did better than me. Okay, they said, Victoria, are you having any person workshops coming up? So in-person workshops. So I do. Good question. I have a in-person seminar. It's a 3-day seminar that I do, and it will be out of Atlanta. No matter what state you're in, this workshop can help you. The seminar more. The
Right.
seminar covers your handbook, your student policies, your handbook, telling about for the students as well as your business. Rather, we talk about the nursing home contract, how to acquire that, how to write one if your state does not provide one. We really go through and in depth. I give you business aspects. So if there's questions you have, we do a Q&A session. You have business questions, we go through and talk about that. And like I said, it's for 3 days in Atlanta, and the next one will be in July 26th, 27th, and 28th. And I love you guys, so I give
Awesome.
you food. I give you breakfast and lunch the first day. um, and then I also have an online course too. So I have an online course that is self-paced in case you don't want to travel and do all that. And you can go through, and it provides the exact same information. You just go through and do it at your own pace. But I take the time to meet with you weekly. We meet every Sunday, and I go through and ask questions, give you confirmation, help give you live feedback so that you can be successful. Jasmine says, I'm so excited. I'm day 25 of 90 and getting a response from the state. Victoria is
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Yeah, Jasmine's been keeping me up to date, and I can't wait until Jasmine gets her approval because I'm going to be at her
Yay.
grand opening, and we're going to be celebrating. And Jasmine, as I stated, keep in contact with me because I want to help you understand how to maximize your grand opening, right? How to get people there, how to get the word out, how to get people vested. When I did my grand opening, I had the commissioner, I had
Wow.
the tax commissioner, I had the district commissioner, I had anybody. I let everybody know. And because that is their area, they want to support small businesses. They want small businesses in their district. These leaders, these community leaders, they want that, and they want to support you. So those are the people you need to reach out to. Those are the people your taxes are paying, and so they
Yes.
supporting you and helping you getting the word out.
And something I learned is it's never too late to have a grand opening because I never
It's
had
not.
I didn't have a grand opening. I was like, the first student signed on, I was like, oh, okay, let's go. But I want to do a grand opening this summer and get everybody on board, like you said. So that was one of the things that I learned from you too. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, a grand opening is huge, and you're right. You can do it 6 months later. You can do it a year later. It doesn't matter. Your grand opening is just saying to the world, hey, I'm here. I exist. This is what I
Exactly.
do. And at the grand opening, you can offer, some type of something to give them to make them want to sign on at the grand opening. So it's your
Yes.
opportunity to market yourself for sure.
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
local newspapers. Tell anyone who's willing to listen.
Yes.
What you're doing. You send them a formal letter just explaining to them that this is the business, this is what you do, and this is your grand opening, and invite them out. Heck, hopefully you can even get the news there. Go hard.
Ooh, yes. Go
Go
hard or
hard.
go home.
That's right. The worst that a person can do is tell you no, at least you tried.
Yes. And one of
Mm-hmm.
my biggest tips is visualization. Visualize yourself where you want to be and just go after it. Go get it.
So Jasmine, she said she's got her equipment. Okay, good, definitely. So Georgia, tell me, last question. You said your very first class, you had one student.
Yes.
Tell me about your largest class. What is your largest class?
Oh, my largest class is now, I have 8 students.
See
It's
what I
class
mean,
number,
guys?
yes, it's class number 4. So I'm at class number 4. So, and I have 8 students and I'm excited. And somebody says because of tax season, why everybody says, you know what, I have some money, let's start school. So I'm excited. So I hope to keep that momentum. I am praying. I'm diving deeper into Google ads, Facebook ads, and my thing is advertisement has to. So I love your live video when you did that advertisement. Thank you for doing for schools that are already open.
Yes.
So I love that you cater to us too. So yes, when you did that live feed and I was on it and I was like, okay, how do I learn? So I took a lot of notes and I learned from you about the Google ads and I did my research. I was like, oh, this is really awesome. So I want to keep that momentum. So my largest class from class 1, now I'm at class 4, is 8 students. And I'm celebrating my win. I am celebrating it.
You need to be, because that's
Yes,
huge. 6
it
months
is.
in, 4 classes in, you have more than quadrupled your
Yes.
class. That's awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. And you raised a very valid point. Be sure that you are capturing where your students are coming from, where your dollars are making the most impact, and you need to invest more there. I am going to be doing more about marketing because nurses are lacking that aspect of it. We are. And you know what I mean? And so my goal is to start bringing more resources when it comes to marketing, because you can have a business all day, you can start a business all day, but if no one knows you exist or you don't know how to tell people you're there, you're not going to stay in business.
Yes. And most businesses close because nobody's coming. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that. Nope.
And there's no question that people don't want to become CNAs.
Yes.
We know that.
Where are they? Come on.
All right, so last here we have, Rose says, what makes a school capable to accept financial aid? We're going to have to leave, I'm going to have to leave that for the next session because I do have to get going. I have to get off this live and get going to the next, but that is a really good question, and we will be talking more about that. There's a certain type of accreditation that you need to get and a certain type of course that you need to offer, and usually the CNA course itself does not afford you the ability to get FAFSA. Usually you have to get like the patient care tech, the courses that are a little longer, things like that. Yeah. But we'll talk about that. Okay. Just like my page, follow me, sign up for my letters. If you're not getting them, I send out my newsletter or my emails. I send them out a few times a month, letting you know what lives I have going on and things like that. So stay in contact. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to leave us with, Georgia?
Just don't give up. Pray for guidance. Write your goals down. Visualize them. Visualize where you want to be and go after it. Don't stop. Do not give up. Be hungry for it. Be hungry. Eat, sleep, breathe. Your school success will come.
Yes, definitely. Georgia, I want to thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I wish I could meet you, and I can't wait till I do get a chance.
I know, definitely.
But thank you so much for taking the time to speak to my audience. I know that your information you provided them with was very valuable, and I know that they're going to take a lot from it and feel very inspired by you.
And thank you for all that you do. You are an inspiration to many, and to me, who's just 6 months old. I'm still learning. Yes, I'm at the creeping stage.
You're doing great. So
thank you
guys so much for tuning in. And any type of questions that you may have asked along here, if I didn't get to them, I'm going to go back and answer them. George is going to do the same. So be
Yes.
sure to watch the feed, okay? You guys
Yes.
have a
Thank
good day,
you.
prosperous day. Bye, guys.
Bye.